Hello to the new video. In this one we will cover OOP, which stands for Object-Oriented Programming, and we'll introduce classes and objects. So up until now we have been programming by using procedural programming and as opposed to object-oriented programming. So procedural programming is writing procedures or functions that perform operations on the data, while object-oriented programming is about creating objects that contain both data and functions. Now, it has several advantages over procedural programming. For instance, it's faster to execute, it provides a clearer structure for the programs, it's easier to maintain and modify, and it makes it possible to create more reusable applications with less code and shorter development time. So, what is a class and an object? So a class and objects are the two main aspects of object-oriented programming, thus the name. So a class is a template for an object, whereas an object is the instance of a class. Now when the individual object is created, it inherits the values from the functions from the class. So I know this might have not a lot of sense for someone who's never done this before. So first of all, I'll make a new class. We can make it in a similar way as a function, or we could just go into project settings and add a class. But for this video, we'll just make it above main. So we use the keyword class, give it a name. So we'll call it my first class, and we'll create these, and we end it with the semicolon. Now that we have a class, we can specify the types. So we can have public variables, private, protected, so on. So let's make a public variable, and let's make an integer for age and make it equal to 10, and then make a string for name and make it equal to something like John. So again, like with a function or inside of main, we can make variables. They can be public, they can be private, they can be whatever we want. And now if we go into main, we now have an option to, so this is a class, and now we will create an object of this class. So to do that, we type in my first class, and then we give it our own name. So I'm just going to call it my first, like this. I probably that should have been really a capital because it's a class. There you go. And now if we type in my first class and we do a dot, we will have the variables that are in here. So if we may try to print something like my first class, then we can just do it like this. And what this will do is it will print 10, which is the age that we've put in the age box. So that's basically what a class and object is. It's best to start using them when you program. I hope I made it very simple. It's much simpler than some people think. This is, well, I don't want to say it's the correct way, but this is the industry standard way of programming. So it's best to learn it and get a good eye. But yeah, in the next videos, I'll cover more about classes and so on, like constructors. We'll then move on to things like encapsulation, inheritance, and finally polymorphism. I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video.